It's 2026, and as a Cardi and Uzi fan, I don't know how I still allow them to get my hopes up when it comes to anything music related. You'd think after a literal decade of loving their music, I would know better. But here I am, and obviously, I still have not learned anything. In 2016, I discovered an artist that gave me something that I felt like I've never heard before. Music that at the time was considered mumble rap and wouldn't go anywhere. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the Philly hamster himself. Lil Uzi has pretty much been my favorite artist since 2016 up until now. Once I heard Lil Uzi versus the World, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. Then I heard the Perfect Love tape, and that project instantly made him my favorite artist. Then in 2017, when Love Is Rage 2 came out, I just said, oh yeah, this nigga perfect. Ain't nobody touching him. But hold on, let's reverse a little bit back to the start of 2016. January 28th to be exact. A song released by Lil Uzi and another rapper by the name of Playboy Carti. It was called Left Right. Now, I'm pretty sure I didn't hear this when it first released. I probably heard it like months after. Regardless though, hearing this for the first time was amazing. It was my first introduction to Carti for real. Now, this takes me back to 2017 when Carti released his first project. I think this project may have been criticized just as much as Uzi's album, especially because you could definitely say Carti pushed the mumble rap genre even further than Uzi. Regardless, this project was great with songs like Woke Up Like This, Number 9, Location, Lame Niggas, and that's just a few songs. While I did love this album, it didn't immediately have the exact same effect on me as when I heard Uzi for the first time. That's not saying it wasn't great music. It's just, I think I just wanted more music from him at the time. And that album was really the only thing that had really released. However, as time passed, I started to love it more and more because it was the only thing I could really listen to by him. Then as Carti and Uzi decided to collab and be around each other more and more, it just felt like such a special duo that I couldn't stop listening to and watching. They quickly became my two favorite artists, with Uzi being a number one and Carti being like number two. Well, 2018 comes around and Carti releases Die Lit. And I think this is the album that really made me say Carti and Uzi on the same level. And in my head, one isn't better than the other. Even back then, I did say that like it was like 1 and 2 type situation, but I loved both of them so much that if somebody ever asked me like, oh, who do I think is better, I still wouldn't give them an answer. I would just be like, oh, I don't know. But after Die Lit release, I'm like, oh, it's just a 1A, 1B situation. If you ask me who my favorite artist, I'm just gonna say Carti and Uzi. And even to this day in 2026 now, I still feel the same way. They're literally like a 1A, 1B situation. And that's the reason I wanted to make this video, because these two are genuinely finna like piss me off. If you guys don't know, a big trend this year is that we're bringing 2016 back. And I think this started because it's the anniversary of a lot of music and other things that happened in 2016. I bring this up because Carti and Uzi were obviously a big part of 2016, 2017, that whole little time period. So when Rollin' Loud was announced this year and Carti was a headliner and Uzi wasn't, my brain kind of got confused because I'm like, damn, I feel like it would make sense to have both of them on the stage. But then I said, okay, Rollin' Loud did say there's going to be a special guest and they were hinting at stuff. All these rumors about a special guest and all this, it's probably Uzi. And maybe I'm an idiot, but I really started to believe it was possible that they could share the same stage again. So I bought the Rollin' Loud tickets. And all I could think about on day 2 when Carti was performing was Uzi coming out. And it's been over a month since Rollin' Loud ended, so we obviously know what I wanted did not come true. And to be fair, I don't actually regret it because Rollin' Loud still offered a lot. It still was amazing. There still was so many people. But a little while after Rollin' Loud was over, Summer Smash was announced, and this time Lil Uzi and Carti were headliners. So part of me was like, damn, did I make the wrong decision going to Rollin' Loud? But then I was like, nah, because if you looked at the artist ratio from Rollin' Loud to Summer Smash, I think I saw more artists at Rollin' Loud than I would have seen at Summer Smash. The only artist I really didn't get to see at Summer Smash was people like Skate Star, Two Hollis, and Uzi, obviously. None of them were at Rollin' Loud. But at Rollin' Loud, I still got to see Osama, Che, Nine Vicious, which literally was a crazy ass set, Lucy Bedrock. I got to see all type of people. So honestly, I don't really regret it. But even still, part of me was sick because I knew I wouldn't be able to make it to Summer Smash after just going to Rollin' Loud. So this past weekend, Summer Smash finally happened. I watched all of Uzi's performance and there was no Carti. But I was like, okay, Uzi's day 1, Carti's day 3. So maybe they're trying to save the performance the last day, you know, go out with a bang, something like that, right? Well, the last day comes and Carti performs and there was still no Uzi. At this moment, I felt very conflicted given that I had just seen Carti and almost all the artists I was interested in at Summer Smash were also at Rollin' Loud. A part of me was happy because I really didn't miss anything except Uzi's day 1 performance. And I would have been very mad if I paid to go to Summer Smash and Uzi and Carti didn't perform together. However, the non-selfish part of me that just wants to see great performances and big things happen with artists was like, hold on, how are these niggas in the same city together at the same festival and they still didn't perform? Now this shit actually finna piss me off, because when Carti's performance concluded, I seen people trying to say he had to leave early because he's still on tour with The Weeknd. Mind you, this is not true, because Carti was literally seen at an after party performing music. I also thought to myself, maybe they just don't fuck with each other no more, because I was watching a live stream and during Carti's performance, you couldn't really hear him because they need to fix the mics. You can't really hear them rap. I don't know if it's Carti or if it's the mic, a little bit of both. I don't know. But I think when he was performing Shooter, he said, Uzi, I love you. So I'm like, obviously they don't hate each other, I guess. So now I ask the question, why won't they perform together? They already won't drop much music together. I mean, we did finally get Twin Trim and Jumpin' on I Am Music, and I love both of those songs, but Twin Trim is literally just a Uzi single, and Carti and Uzi have better songs than Jumpin'. Even still, I thought after all this time, they could maybe perform something together, given that they both play songs with both of them on it during their shows. But no, instead, they just decide not to perform together. And I think the reason this disappoints me so much is because I know damn well this was probably our only chance to see them on the big stage together, at least in the near future. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know when it's ever going to happen. All I want to know is, if not now, then when will it happen? Because it's been so many years, and I feel like these two have deprived us fans of what could have been amazing music together, amazing performances, all type of stuff, if they just decided to like collab like they used to. They've never dropped 1629, they won't perform together, and they barely give us any form of collaboration. I guess our best opportunity to hear them together is on Uzi's new project that's rumored to drop in July, but you know how Uzi is. At this point though, I'm not holding my breath for any collaboration between them. Whenever it happens, it happens.